Happy MLK Day and welcome into Clippers Countdown as your LA Clippers are in the nation's capital on this national holiday and taking on the 10-31 Wizards, a team the Clippers already defeated back at Intuit Dome earlier this week on their way to winning 5 straight. But it took all 5 on the court and Coach Lue to go deep into his bench on Friday night for the Clippers to get their most improbable victory of the season without Kawhi Leonard, without John Collins, no DJ, no Bogey, and yet this Clippers team showed their true grit and reminded us they never quit.
Harden and the Clippers trailing. James to the rim. The left-handed layup sneaks by the defense as he feathers it off the glass. James dribbling with the left hand, turns the corner, muscles to the rim. Left-handed layup. Harden forcing his way to the cup, and he fills it up for 2 more. Harden far corner. 8 on the shot clock. Jabs left. Takes the baseline. Floats it up. Blocked. But a goaltend. Harden waits for a screen. Takes the corner right. Steps back. Mamu Kelashvili the switch. 4 to shoot. Harden dancing. Stepping back. Left elbow jumper. Eve fills it up. James Harden, more offense here in overtime. Harden stops left wing, crosses right hand, steps back, free throw line jumper, got enough, and puts it in. James Harden makes it a 3-point Clipper lead, 121-17.
Down 14 at one point in a game where it could have been James Harden's worst shooting night of the season. He instead turned it around and scored 8 straight points with 3:35 left to go in the fourth quarter to get them into OT to eventually win 121-117, thanks to a few steady veteran-like performances from the young guys. And Yannick, Conan Niederhauser, Kobe Sanders, Jordan Miller, Cam Christie, and even Ty Washington in his first game as a Clipper still found a way to contribute. It was a character-revealing victory for a team known for them over the years when they've been counted out, and many certainly gave up on this season when they were 6-21. But now they've won 12 of 14. They are the hottest team in the league, but can they remain so without Kawhi Leonard for at least the next 2 games as he's out with a knee injury? Tip-off from Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. between the Clippers and Wizards is just about 59 minutes away. Coming up, you're going to hear from the head coach in Tyronn Lue. Also, Tomer Azarli will be here. But up next, it's your radio voice of the Clippers and Carlo Jimenez. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers in our nation's capital on MLK Day. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Oslin. This is Clippers Countdown, the official pregame show of your Los Angeles Clippers. Still to come here. You're going to hear from the head coach and Tyronn Lue. But first, let's get out to Capital One Arena with your radio voice of the Clippers and Carlo Jimenez. Carlo, how are we doing, my friend?
Adam, it is so good to hear your voice. I am doing great. I made it to DC in one piece. No issues going through customs, so I'm all good. I got my Canadian candy through, and I'm excited to be here.
Okay, I'll expect some of that back at Into a Dome soon here. A late Christmas present, maybe. This Clippers team giving some late presents out after a big comeback victory, down by as many as 14, but really down 8 with 3:35 left on Friday night in a dramatic comeback in Toronto against the Raptors in a game where James Harden didn't have his best till it was required, and then you just seem to flip that switch late there, Carlo.
Yeah, he was absolutely electric for the Clippers in that game. I mean, 16 of their last 20 points, their final 8 points in regulation in the final 3:36. He was able to really find a way to get into a rhythm offensively and then help the Clippers get to the finish line, really the last leg of that run. The Clippers were down 10 multiple times. They were down late in that game, 101 to 109, and you're wondering, man, if there was ever a time for James Harden to come alive, it sure would be nice if it was now. And he somehow, found a way to get the Clippers to overtime and then really dominate overtime with his play. It just shows the experience of James Harden, his ability to be comfortable in moments like that. And then also him just playing so much basketball. I mean, this is someone who's 9th all time on the all-time scoring list. He has been in situations where he's had a bad 43 minutes of a game and then finishes the final 5 really strong. That's what we saw in Toronto.
Yeah, didn't let the bad game or the bad 3 quarters turn into a bad game, eventually being the hero there. I thought Ivica Zubac was also key. 7 of 10 from the field, 16 and 14 coming back off the ankle injury where he still played 39 minutes. Key rebounds and also key kickouts to big 3-point shots in the game.
Huge 3-point shots and big 3-point shooters. Brook Lopez at a corner 3 on an Ivica Zubac kickout. That's 7 feet to 7-2 for 3 as the Clippers rolled out that double big lineup. Impressive stuff from those two. I think for the Clippers, finding a way to find new combinations, and Ivica Zubac has really improved his passing. I mean, last season, Ty Lue asked him to do a lot in the short roll, especially early in the season when Kawhi Leonard was not with the Clippers because they needed somebody when James Harden was inevitably double-teamed. And Ivica Zubac just got rep after rep after rep being in that short roll. And he seems really comfortable for the Clippers having to make decisions at the free throw line, finding his opponents in the corner or outside on the 3-point line. Impressive stuff from Big Zoo, who continues his excellent play. Despite missing a couple games, he has not missed a beat for the Clippers. Still top 10 in rebounding per game, still top 10 in second chance points, and top 5 in double-doubles.
Zubac and James Harden, a great interview post-game with Lauren Rosen, our courtside reporter. But you had a great interview with Jordan Miller afterwards, who played 46 minutes, had 19 points, knocked down one of those huge 3-pointers in overtime for the Clippers. Jordan Miller, the last couple of weeks, Clippers aren't in this position without his play.
No, they really aren't. I mean, Jordan Miller, Adam, over the last 5 games, leads the team in plus minus. He's a plus 53. He has been that good for the Clippers as of late. He was a big plus 20 in that win in Toronto and really averaging 15 points a game his last 5. So you think about somebody who is playing his best basketball when the Clippers need it. No Bogdan Bogdanovic, no Derrick Jones Jr. You've got to find ways to have those young guys contribute. Jordan Miller has not only contributed, but he has stepped up his play on the offensive and defensive end of the ball. And that's what Ty Lue's been most complimentary of, his defense. Felt like they knew he could score when he got to the NBA. He could find his spot. But Ty is pointing specifically to not only his 3-point shooting, which has improved above 40% this season, second on the team at 43%, but his ability to play defense, stay in front of his offensive assignment, and then rebound the basketball. And he did that in a big way. I mean, Adam, in the last 2 games, Jordan Miller has set new career highs in minutes, steals, rebounds, and assists. That's ridiculous.
Doing a little bit of everything to help. I thought Chris Dunn did some of that, especially the tone-setting defensive plays to start that third quarter with a couple of steals right away, but also was 3 of 4 from the outside and had 15 points. We know he's upped the offense this season. They needed everything from him as well Friday night.
They did. I mean, I think for the Clippers, when you're looking down, when you're thinking about what you have going forward without Kawhi Leonard, I mean, it's been hard to win games without Kawhi Leonard. Let's be honest, Adam. The Clippers 3 wins this season without Kawhi, double overtime in Dallas, Harden is 55 in Charlotte, and then overtime in Toronto. So the Clippers need everyone to contribute on the offensive end if they want to take down teams without Kawhi Leonard, who is playing like a first-team All-NBA player. this last 14 games that the Clippers have been on this run. Kawhi has been excellent. The Clippers, though, have found a way through contributions from everyone. I mean, you mentioned Chris Dunn with his 15 points, 3 threes in that game. Kobe Sanders has been excellent in his starts. He's averaging 13 points a game. And then the Clippers do get back John Collins today, who has to continue to maybe even elevate his offensive game for the Clippers. He's playing so well his last 6 contests. But JC has been injured for the Clippers. And so now without Kawhi Leonard, he's going to be forced to play an even larger role, a part of this offense. We'll see if he can maybe get into 20-point per game range. He'll definitely have that opportunity in a bigger role.
Wasn't just some of the usual young guys like Kobe Sanders and Jordan Miller, but Cam Christie came up big, hadn't played critical minutes in some time, and he comes through with 9 points in the first 3 minutes of that fourth quarter.
I mean, he had 16 points in 20 minutes. It's the second most points he had all season. He had 17 at Phoenix earlier this year on November 6th, but he was so good for the Clippers in that game. I mean, just the ability to get downhill, to knock down the open three, and then to be efficient. You mentioned it, but the first 9 points and then 6 for 7 from the field, knocked down shot after shot. Great to see Ty Lue giving him that confidence in Cam Christie, understanding like, hey, in the first quarter, we're going to roll you out there. Let's see if you can be effective. And he was super effective in the first, super effective in the fourth. And the Clippers needed every bucket. I would expect him to be an early entrance into this game as well because he played so well in the last game. Ty Lue often does reward the young guys coming out big performances.
Coming up, Carlo Jimenez has his one-on-one conversation with the head coach in Tyronn Lue. Clippers in D.C. taking on the Wizards. Tip-off is just about 49 minutes away. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers in D.C. on MLK Day taking on the Wizards. Tip-off is just about 45 minutes away here on Clippers Countdown. I'm Adam Osland. Coming up in just a little bit, we'll go back in time in Clippers Rewind to a pretty big comeback that happened a few years ago in D.C. with the Clippers. But first, let's head back over to your radio voice of the Clippers and Carlo Jimenez.
Thanks so much, Adam. Here with head coach Tyronn Lue before the Clippers take on the Washington Wizards. Coach, James Harden had 16 of your last 20 points in the last game. What makes him so great in the clutch?
We need him to be great because he was terrible the whole first half. But no, this is the way teams are playing him. And Being able to fight through how teams are playing and figure out how teams are playing. And then, like I said, down the stretch to be able to bring us home, that was a huge win for us.
The young guys have had big contributions all last game. What is it about your player development program that allows them to be ready to be prepared when their moment comes?
Working every day, working with Sean Fine and Dante and Cookie and Connor, Hogan, Tim, so Sean Fine, Jay Larinaga, they all put in work every single day of getting these young guys in, put them through what we're trying to do offensively, and then JBG taking over, put them what we're trying to do defensively. And so they're ready. Like when they get a chance to play, they know what we're doing, they're prepped for it, and they're ready to play.
You talked earlier about using that two big lineup and how there were questions among the coaching staff. Well, would this work? You remember the first time you were like, all right, I'm going to try something new here and see how it goes?
No, I remember B. Shaw. We've been talking about it for a while, just talking about, man, we might have to try it. And so I thought, with JC being out, with Kawhi being out, this is a great opportunity to, try it and see what it looks like. And it was pretty good.
The team fell down 10 twice in that game. Obviously, you guys had a slower start to the season, but there's never been any waver in belief. Where does that come from with this group?
It comes from our players. I think, coaching staff does a great job of just, being positive, showing positivity, putting these guys in position to win games. And we lost a lot of close games that we thought we could have won. But I think our players just staying with it, not giving up, not giving into having a bad record, and just coming to work and coming to play every single day. And they pulled us out of this themselves.
Thank you so much. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Carlo Jimenez with Coach Lou there. Pregame Clippers and Wizards tipping off just about 43 minutes from now from DC. Coming up next, we'll go back in time and Clippers Rewind right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers and Wizards from D.C., our nation's capital. Tip-off is just about 41 minutes away. I'm Adam Osland. It is Clippers Countdown. Still to come here, we'll get your player to watch, and Tomera Zarley will join the show. But first, we're going back in Clippers Rewind, back in time here, going back to January 25th of 2022. So almost 4 years ago. Spider-Man No Way Home was number one at the box office. I appreciated that one. I like that they brought back the Green Goblin. Easy on Me by Adele was number one on the Billboard charts. I think that was kind of a big deal, at least maybe for Rich Paul. Clippers, they were manufacturing the second biggest comeback in NBA history in Washington, D.C.
Man gets it in for Winslow. He'll move it from left to right. No foul given yet, and now they're going to, oh no, get it to Kennard. 3 seconds left. Top of the key, put up the three, he's fouled. Oh! Luke Kennard buries it. A 4-point play, and the Clippers with a chance to go up front. Luke Kennard, you, sir, are a madman, a god amongst men.
That's when you know it's a big call. Noah Eagle there. Luke Kennard came through with that 4-point play, and the Clippers had a miraculous 35-point comeback in DC against the Wizards back in January of 2022. Second largest comeback in NBA history. Luke Kennard had 25 off the bench, 8 of 13, 5 of 8 from distance. Isaiah Hartenstein was 16 off the bench. Terrence Mann had 16 with the starters. Amir Coffey led them with 29. As the Clippers would eventually go on to win 116-115 over the Wizards. Clippers taking on the Wizards in DC. Tip-off just 39 minutes away. Coming up next, I'll give you a player to watch. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers and Wizards from DC. Tip-off just about 37 minutes away here on Clippers Countdown. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Osland. It is the official pregame show of your LA Clippers. Coming up in just a little bit, Tomer Azarli will join me. But first,
this is LA Clippers basketball.
Watching this guy play right now is really something.
Players to watch.
all right, I'm tripling down. I have picked this guy the last 2 times, and both times he ended up being unavailable. That means it was Wednesday against the Wizards, I believe. He first didn't play. And then on Friday night, he was a late scratch in their big comeback against Toronto. I'm talking about John Collins, who has been great for the Clippers over the last 3 weeks overall, but been dealing with a groin issue. Before that, though, was averaging 16 points per game on very efficient shooting numbers in the month of January. 70% from the field, 65% from the outside. The energy, the motor, almost getting like some Montrezl Harrell vibes. Not when he's shooting the jumper, but with just how hard he's playing out there right now for this Clippers team, and how he can get up for some of those lobs on the offensive end. But his offense has fueled his defense. He's been much better, averaging 2 blocks per game over this time as well, as I mentioned those numbers. John Collins, it will be good to see him back. I want to see how he's moving, though, out there. I want to see if he's hesitant at all, just because he hasn't played in a couple of games, and a groin issue can be a little bit troublesome, difficult to manage. So hopefully he's 100%. Sounded like post-game Coach Lou, it was him saying they kept him out just being overly cautious, even though he said he was good to go on Friday. Well, they got him a couple more days of rest. Let's see what he's got today in Washington against the Wizards. John Collins, my player to watch, coming up next. We will get to Tomer Azarli from Clutch Points. But before that, your injury report. I'm Adam Moslin, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers and Wizards from our nation's capital on MLK Day. Welcome back. I'm Adam Moslin. Tip-off just about 32 minutes away here on Clippers Countdown. Coming up in just a bit, we'll have Tomer Azarli on, but I do want to give you your most updated injury report, as we have been getting some of those late scratches as of late, which, of course, we're not fans of here. Clippers do have John Collins back. He is officially available. Still no Kawhi Leonard, dealing with left knee contusion. A contusion is bruise. It's not his surgically repaired right knee. He's already played through it for a couple of games. I'm not overly concerned in this one. Of course, still no Bogdan Bogdanovic or Derek Jones Jr. for the Clippers. The Washington Wizards will be without Cam Whitmore and Trae Young in this game, who seems to be put on ice. Ice Trae for a different reason now, as they just brought him over from Atlanta. Clippers sipping off against the Washington Wizards 31 minutes from now. Coming up next. All right, I got him. Tomer Azarli. I'm Adam Moslin, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers in Washington, D.C. taking on the Wizards. Tip-off just 29 minutes away here on Clippers Countdown. I'm Adam Oslin. Coming up, we'll get your drive around the league, but join the show right now as promised, even though I thought he was coming on yesterday. It is Tomer Azarly from Clutch Points. At Tomer Azarly is where you find him. You can check out his new show, Clutch Scoops, with Brett Siegel of Clutch Points. Tomer, thanks for finally making it happen, my friend.
Thanks for having me on. I didn't know you promised me on yesterday. I didn't realize that was what was going on. My apologies.
Oh, no, it's all right. I just said it like 50 times while I was stalling to try to get you on. But that was really my fault. That was my mistake. User error. But we're making it work now. So let's talk about it. First, let's get this out of the way. The reason I wanted to have you on yesterday was to see if there's any more further clarification on Kawhi and that left knee issue. What's the extent of what you know as he left the road trip?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything at the moment too concerning. He's going to miss the last 2 games here on this road trip, suffered that knee contusion. I believe it was against Washington, against Toronto. Against Washington. Somewhere late in that game, I don't know where. He had a great game, obviously, scoring 33 points, but somewhere there he banged knees, and I guess was initially listed as questionable with the ankle, but once he was downgraded in Toronto, I believe PR sent out a note that it was actually a knee contusion, not just the ankle. So look, they're going to reevaluate him. Once they come back, I think gives him a couple days off here before he's able to actually get back into doing anything. The Clippers will have a game on, I believe it's Thursday night against the Lakers before they have another couple of days off before they take on the Nets. So there's a good stretch here for some days off if he does need, to take that Laker game off. There's another 2 days off after that. So, I think the Clippers want to be cautious with him. He's taken on a massive workload of late. And so, it is that left knee. I believe last year, the last time he had that knee irritation, I believe it was the right. So it is the same knee. So I think it's just maybe a little bit of lingering soreness potentially for now. But we'll kind of see. With Kawhi, I think everyone's kind of on edge and waiting to see what it is. So, we'll have more obviously when the team provides it.
Don't know if you saw, but the West starters, all-star starters list just dropped with the starting 5: Luka Doncic, SGA, Stephen Curry, Nikola Jokic, Victor Wembanyama. Could you make a case for Kawhi cracking that roster over any of those guys?
Kawhi's had a great start to the season, but when you factor in, I think, health and just availability, I think those guys, it's hard to really beat those guys. I know Jokic has missed some time, but this first 2 months of the season here, 2.5, 3 months before the All-Star voting happens is just like the biggest, most important for All-Star voting. So I think Kawhi will get voted in as a reserve by the coaches, but I think given the 5 guys there, it's hard to take any one of those guys off and name someone else. If there is one, I maybe would have, because he has missed some games, maybe removed Luka Doncic. But again, there's so many candidates out in the West. Like Denny Avdija is another guy who's played fantastic in the West. So I don't really have any complaints with these. I think these are probably the 5 best guys right now in the West. And we'll see Kawhi. I expect him to make it as a reserve.
All right, fair enough. Let's move on to what happened on Friday night. I thought that was the most resilient the Clippers have looked all season long, without Kawhi, without John Collins, without DJ, no Bogey, and they still found a way down 8 with 3:35 left in the fourth quarter. Just what does it say about the character of this team to come back and win that game up in Toronto?
Yeah, if you remember to start the year, the Clippers had a lot of these games you could have made the case they probably should have won, and whether it was holding a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter or a 20-point lead in the first half, early third quarter, like they blew some of those games. And I think now you're starting to see a bit of a overall regression to the mean from a league standpoint, as far as like their shooting is getting better on league average, getting closer to the league average. Opponents aren't shooting as well against them. You're kind of seeing things balance out. They're winning games that, I think coming into that game, that felt like a schedule loss without Kawhi, another travel day out east after a couple of home games. Like it felt like one of those games where, all right, let's just give the young guys a chance here and get our vets some rest. Like I think Nico Batum played 6 minutes. John Collins didn't even play that game. He was more of a, I think Brian referred to it as in case of emergency. And so it felt like a game they shouldn't have won, and they ended up winning it. So this team, I think, we're seeing the youth really take over and produce at a level that we haven't seen, I would say, in quite some time. Cam Christie had probably, I know that he only played 20 minutes, had probably a very quiet 16 points for me. 16 points. He always comes up with a few rebounds. Like he ended up with 5 rebounds. Jordan Miller, I mean, we've been singing his praises for the last couple of weeks here, but he's been fantastic. Career high 4 steals as well with his 19 points. And then Kobe Sanders, the youth movement, those 3 guys so far have just been really, really crucial to the Clippers maintaining this, this winning streak here, this winning run, this stretch here, while, guys like Kawhi miss time or guys like Ivica Zubac miss time. It's been a joy to watch. And, they will continue to be focal points for the Clippers. If the youth, especially off the bench, can provide offense, rim pressure, they should be in good position to win games.
And I don't want to say it's a blessing in disguise completely because you never want to see guys injured, but without these opportunities arising, we're not seeing the youth movement, and this could be very meaningful for this squad moving forward, Tomer.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think there's multiple ways to look at it. You never want to see guys get injured. But like in a weird way, early in the season, I think Jordan Miller was expected to take a bigger offensive role. And then, he suffered his injuries to start the year. I believe it was a hamstring or back, one of those two. And he wasn't able to play. So that's why we saw guys like Kobe Sanders get minutes. And so, now that Jordan's healthy, he and Kobe are both playing crucial minutes. He played 37 the other night. Jordan played 46. Like, both of those guys have been crucial. So blessing in disguise kind of feels like, the best way to kind of address the situation right now. Again, you don't want to see guys get injured, but in a weird way, Jordan Miller obviously has a chance to shine now with some of the injuries to Bogey and Derek Jones and Bradley Beal being out, Chris not being with the team anymore. It's been fantastic. Again, we haven't seen, I think arguably in the last maybe 8 years, it was only Terrence Mann really as their best kind of young player who could produce and play consistently. Now you're seeing Kobe Sanders do it. Jordan Miller plays 46 minutes. I think he played almost the entire final 3 quarters in overtime. Cam Christie, you can plug him in and he'll give you good production. Even Yannick Koenig-Niederhauser, again, he's been playing spot minutes whenever Zoo's been out or in some of these wonky lineups with Zoo and Brook Lopez. He's been fantastic as well. So overall, just great to see the young guys be able to play, but also able to produce and contribute towards winning basketball. That's the most important thing.
How much credit do you give Coach Lue for this turnaround and going with the double bigs and all these different lineups? There was basically a G League lineup out there at one point Friday. He was trying all kinds of stuff to make that game work.
I mean, it's funny. Ty was the focal point of everyone's blame to start the year, and then they start winning, and we forget. I haven't really heard too much about that of late.
Huh.
I mean, look, it's when you win, it's the players. When you lose, it's the coach. That's pretty much how it works in the league. I think credit Ty Lue and the staff in the front office for maintaining their belief and their focus remaining on the season. I think Ty's been forced to deal with some very unfortunate hands here, and then has had to play a lot of the young guys probably way earlier than he expected, and it's paid dividends. I think. We've seen him bench certain guys and go with the younger players at times. And I think, he's found a way to get it done. It's, it's really difficult when you have a veteran heavy team like this to say, all right, some of you guys have to sit out, especially with a shorter sample size. But with the start that they had at 6-21, I think Ty did what he had to do. And guys also just started playing better. Like that's really just the what it comes down to, in my opinion. Guys started playing better. Like Kawhi really decided to take over, and guys around him really just started contributing at a higher level. I know James was playing at a high level to start the year. His shot hasn't really been there, but again, he's kind of similar to last year when they played without Kawhi, where his efficiency numbers aren't there, but he's giving you so much as far as gravity and clutch shot making and playmaking. I think everyone has just played better over the last month and a half here, and Ty Lue has also been a big part of that.
What do you make of the play of Ivica Zubac in his first game back with not just the scoring, the rebounding, but he had a couple of key kickouts for made 3-pointers the Clippers really needed in the short roll?
Yeah, the key kick out to Brook Lopez in the corner for 3 was center to center play hilarious there. I mean, look, Zoo, as we mentioned the other day when we talked to Ty Lue, he's still finding his way back. I think he dealt with some lingering soreness and maybe tweaked his foot by stepping on, I believe it was Nico Batum. against Charlotte, and then had to miss the Washington game. So especially for a big man, tough to get your conditioning going outside of game action. Like there's really no way to replicate that, especially when you have an injury like an ankle sprain or something like that. So you can't really run and put weight on it. So Zoo's been great. I think, we know what he's given them as far as his communication and the ability to be a defensive anchor. But I think he's really seen a lot of double teams whenever he gets the ball in the post. So I think he has to continue to take steps as a playmaker when they do feed him the ball and, kind of help bounce off Kawhi and James.
So do you got any new intel on any possible Clippers trades, rumors that you've been talking about with Brett Siegel on Clutch Scoops as of late, Tomer?
Honestly, since Thursday, I haven't really heard too much change since we did our episode. The entire league really is just in a watch and see mode right now with what feels like two guys, from what I understand, mainly Giannis Antetokounmpo and Jonathan Kuminga. What will the Warriors end up trading in a Jonathan Kuminga package? Will they even end up trading him? I believe they will. I think everyone else believes they will, but they've put out some feelers that they might be satisfied holding on to him if the right deal is not there. And then Giannis, I think it's safe to say that the entire league is almost just waiting to see what the Bucks do with Giannis, whether he requests a trade, whether they decide to pull the trigger and just trade him. It seems like everyone's just waiting on that because if Giannis suddenly becomes available, all 29 teams will be making hard pushes to get him. And so there's also not really an incentive, in my opinion, I think a lot of people's opinions, not really an incentive to help the Bucks acquire pieces to keep Giannis there. I think people want to teams would want to kind of see if they can get Giannis out of there and see if they can land him. So I think the Clippers, again, their priority is getting off Chris Paul and opening some roster flexibility to be able to sign Kobe, Sanders, and Jordan Miller to those standard contracts. They want to stay below that first apron line, which is proving very difficult to do right now. That's also why they haven't waived Chris Paul. They want to be able to use him as a trade chip because waiving him doesn't really do anything. So really, the Clippers just have to wait and see which teams kind of fall short of trade, of landing guys they want in the trade market here, and who could look to them and say, okay, Chris Paul is our backup option. We'd like to try and trade for him. That's really what we're at right now. I think everyone's just waiting and seeing what the league, what the Warriors do with Kuminga and what the Bucks do with Giannis right now. Everyone is just kind of on standby.
Last one for you, Tomer, because I brought it up a little bit earlier. I know John Collins has played really well as of late. He is back today. But considering he's on expiring, if the Clippers don't have a long-term plan for him, they could end up losing him for nothing. What do you think? Or how do you think they value John Collins? Is that somebody they do want to hold on past this season?
Look, I think when they traded for him, you didn't trade for him to be just a one-year rental. I think, as I said on our show before, I think all options should be on the table. You shouldn't rule out anything. However, again, I don't think you traded him to be some guy that you're just willing to move off from immediately. So I think they do like him. He's played better of late, and I think that it's been a big part of their turnaround. But again, we'll kind of see what he commands in the open market. Is he willing to take more of a 2-year deal or one that allows him to re-enter free agency the following summer when they are expected to have that big, 2 max slots available? What's interesting to me is that what we're seeing around the league, this trend of guys not really reaching free agency anymore. It's more of a pre-free agency trade that you're seeing. So teams that maybe don't want to sign guys to max deals or their time seems to have come, they're trading to teams that will offer them those extensions or are open to. And so I'm curious to see if I don't want to say that he will be, but I'm curious to see who the next star is that's wants to request out. Could the Clippers be a team that is intrigued by that because they have a lot of tradable contracts if they do want to get involved in that, and John Collins obviously is one of them. But as far as on the court play, he's been fantastic, and I know they've been excited about his play. So I definitely could see him wanting to remain here and then wanting to retain him and see what they could do there. As given the rebounding troubles they've had in the playoffs, again, that's the reason they went and got him. He's been a big part of what they've been able to do, and I think what they hope to continue to do.
He is Tomer Azarly from Clutch Points. Tomer, great job as always. Appreciate you coming on, giving us the intel, the insight, and the information we needed today here on Clippers Countdown, my friend.
Of course. Thank you. Appreciate it, man.
Coming up next, we'll get your drive around the league. I'm Adam Moslin as we get set for the Clippers in Washington, D.C., taking on the Wizards. Tip off 14 minutes away. I'm Adam Moslin, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers in D.C. taking on the Wizards. Tip-off just about 11 minutes away here on Clippers Countdown, the official pregame show of your LA Clippers. Coming up, back to Carlo Jimenez. But first, let's get your drive around the league. A couple of scores, a couple of games that have tipped off already. Late third quarter in Atlanta with 2:17 left in the third. It's the Bucks leading the Hawks. Speaking of, Giannis Antetokounmpo with 15 and 12. Bucks up 76-65 with 2:17 left in the third quarter. Jalen Johnson with 21 and 10 for the Hawks, who now trail by 13. Early first quarter, Thunder 7, Cavaliers 6 in Cleveland. Come up a little bit later tonight, Boston Celtics in Detroit taking on the Pistons. Miami Heat taking on the Golden State Warriors in San Francisco. Up next, we got Carlo Jimenez from Capital One Arena. Clippers taking on the Wizards. I'm Adam Moslin, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers taking on the Wizards from Washington, D.C., our nation's capital, here on MLK Day. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Mosland. Coming up, we will get to your keys to victory, but let's go back out to D.C. and get your radio voice of the Clippers and Carlo Jimenez. All right, Carlo, is this Washington team in a different place at all than the last time we saw them not too recently? I mean, Alex Sarr is likely to not get kicked out in this game, maybe.
I would be surprised if Alex Sarr gets kicked out of 2 games in 3 games. That would definitely be surprising. No, Adam, nothing has changed for the Washington Wizards. I think they did play a very, depleted Denver Nuggets team down to the wire last time out. I mean, they were able to have it a tie game the last 2 minutes. The game was tied at 110 before they missed their last 4 threes. Wizards did just have 11 turnovers in that game. But, Bilal Coulibaly has not returned since he went out with that back injury in the first quarter when the 2 teams played 2 games ago at Intuit Dome. So that will be the one difference here, Adam. They will be without Bilal. Bub Carrington getting the start in replace of Coulibaly. Carrington did have an impressive performance against the Clippers. He's averaging 12 points a game his last 2 contests. He came away with 11 against the Clips last time. But for the most part, it's the same group. No Vukcevic. So if you're looking for 10 points in 7 minutes, he will not be playing today. But the 2-way guys are available for Washington and Sharif Cooper, whose name you might recognize. He was a very, very high high recruit to Auburn before going in the second round in 2021 to Atlanta. And then Jameer Watkins, the rookie out of Florida State, is also good to go today. But besides that, it's pretty much the same group.
Let's talk about this Clippers team then and the double big lineup we saw on Friday night. Do you think Coach Lue, who was asked about it post-game, goes back to it? He was pretty coy, but you would expect that. He wasn't sure he would, but it worked then. And Ivica Zubac and Brook Lopez were +6 in their minutes. So are we going to get it down the line sometime?
I don't know. He told the Brian Seaman, voice of the Clippers on TV, and Lauren Rosen, the sideline reporter for FanDuel, asked him about it in his pregame interview, and he said, well, what happened when you told the rest of the bench that you were going too big? And he goes, well, I was talking with Jeff, and Jeff said, hey, who's Brook coming in for? And he said, oh, he's going out. Here we go. I got it. Okay, sorry. He said, I'm trying to make sure I don't mince words here.
Gotcha.
Jeff came and asked Ty, hey, Brook's going out there. Zoo's already out there. And Ty said, yep. And Jeff put his hands in his head and said, oh my goodness, and walked towards the bench, because then he had to figure out how he was going to do defensive assignments. Said he called him crazy in the huddle when Ty first decided that he was going to go double big. And that's why Ty said he didn't want to bring it up till game time, so then there wouldn't be any discussion about it. It would just be something that's happening. And it worked out for the Clippers. Ty did say it's not going to be something he sees every game. He said, I kind of thought of it out of desperation, but as he mentioned in our interview, B. Shaw had been kind of talking to him about it, like, hey, maybe we should try this. Maybe it's something we could roll out.
I believe that with B. Shaw. He loves the big front court, of course.
He does. So I'm glad to see it worked. I don't know if it's an every game thing, but as we know about the chiropractor, Adam, he likes to keep things that work maybe a little close. I don't want to get too much film on this double big lineup. I would be surprised if we don't see it for a while. Ty does not want to. He's got another trick up his sleeve. He doesn't want to show it too often if he doesn't need to.
All right. I am probably showing the same player to watch for the 3rd straight game here. I'm going with John Collins. No, because he didn't play the last 2. And this time I'm going to get it right. He's going to be available. He is going to play. Not a late scratch, right? He's still there, right? He's still in the lineup. He's still available. Please.
He is on the court.
Woo!
Yeah. He's in the warm-up. Now, he was in the warm-up last time.
I
He did play. So I don't know how much stock you want to take into that.
I am chasing like a gambling degenerate right now with my John Collins pick here and player to watch.
You're my only hope.
All right. Who do you got?
John Collins, a great pick. I'm going to go with a guy who just 360 tomahawked Yannick Conan Niederhauser, because he has been excellent for the Clippers. He had 16 points last time against Washington. That matched a career high. Give me Big Jan playing against his former roommate and Keyshawn George when those two were together back in Europe. I want Yannick Conan Niederhauser, Adam.
Yannick Conan Niederhauser. Carlos going with him. Rhymes with the Ninja Turtles song. All right. Tip off just about 5 minutes away. Clippers in D.C. taking on the Wizards. Carlo Jimenez on the call. I'm Adam Mosland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers taking on the Wizards in DC. Tip-off just moments away. Let's get to your keys to victory. Let's see if they can get James Harden to start faster. Well, he did end up finishing strong, obviously, with 16 of the Clippers' last 20 points in their big comeback victory Friday night in Toronto. He still was 10 of 27 from the field, 2 of 15 from the outside. He's got to see a couple of his step-back three-pointers drop. They desperately need him to find his shooting stroke once again. Just want to see if James Harden can get a few touches early on and find that rhythm, because the Clippers are going to need him throughout the 48 minutes. Can't just always be, well, the last 3.5 and then into overtime against this Washington team who is going to be hungry for a little bit of revenge with Alex Sarr being kicked out the last time these two teams played earlier this week. I think they may give a much better effort against the Clippers, who are on the front end of a back-to-back. Need James Harden to be at his best. All right, here we go. Carlo Jimenez on the call from Capital One Arena in D.C., our nation's capital. It's the Clippers and Washington Wizards next, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.
It is almost that time here in our nation's capital on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So glad you could join us for this